Good evening, everybody, and hopefully we are live on both YouTube and Facebook. We want to welcome everybody here to the live broadcast for Come to the Table Ministries. We are Tom and Michele Weaver, and we are just so happy you guys could join us. Feel free to put comments in the comment section in the chat box. They will be broadcast here on our screen, so we'll be able to see who is here, who has any comments or questions. And we just, again, welcome everybody for coming. We're hoping to have a wonderful event coming up this couple weeks from now in September with the Women's Retreat. Michelle's going to talk a little bit about that. And, you know, we're just here to introduce and have a little meet and greet with the speakers for the Princess Warriors Retreat that's coming up September 22nd to the
24th to the 26th.
24th to the 26th at Sandy Cove Resort in Northeast Maryland. And also, we want to plug the men's retreat, which is coming up October 22nd to the 24th at Camp Wabana in Edgewater, Maryland. And feel free, guys, to sign up for that. If you want, I can put the link in the chat box. We will also put the link for signing up to the women's retreat in the chat box. You can always go to our website, tableministry.com, down at the bottom, tableministry.com, and you can get to the events page there to sign up for both retreats. But first comes first, and we do the women's retreat first because we honor them and respect them and just love that they can be able to come and join in this retreat. Michelle's going to talk a little bit about that retreat and what we have in store.
Yeah, we're so excited to have this platform that we can just reach so many people, because what our topic is and the retreat's all about needs to reach miles and miles and miles around the world, because it's a topic that people don't want to talk about, but we need to talk about. And that's sexual addiction and betrayal. And so the Princess Warrior Retreat is all about partner betrayal. Has your husband sexually betrayed you? That may look like adultery, emotional affairs, pornography, lust, masturbation. If so, you know that pain, and so do I. And so do a lot of other women that are going to be at that retreat. So please, to go through this, you're not crazy. It's just the pain that you're feeling. It's not your fault. It's 100% his choices, but you need to make the choice to heal. And that's what this is about, coming together in community, helping each other stand again and help each other survive and thrive. And that's what I'm so excited to have some of the speakers here tonight. And just to have, like I said, this opportunity to be here with all these amazing women to bring light to this horrible situation, but know that we are going to shine in the midst of this darkness. So with that said, I would love to introduce you to these amazing women. And we'll start with Tracy Wright with Pure Desire Ministry. If you could tell us a little bit about yourself. And thank you so much for being here. Can't hear you, hon.
Okay, it helps if I unmute.
That helps.
I don't know. You guys might decide I sound better muted than unmuted. So I'm really glad to be here and so excited to introduce myself. This feels like we're getting close to retreat when we get to do this. And I know Michelle's put in a lot of work to this, and I've been excited and praying for it. So a little bit about me. I grew up in Oregon, so mostly in Portland, Oregon. My husband and I were youth pastors there for 10 years after growing up, and our recovery journey started there from sexual addiction. For the past 20 years, we've lived in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. So we moved here to help start a church, and have been doing that for 20 years, well, almost 20 years. 10 years of that, I was working in full-time recovery. So working with women in a faith-based inpatient. And in the last 3 years, we joined the staff of Pure Desire. My husband was introduced to Pure Desire around the time that I started in working with women in recovery. So our paths were kind of going simultaneously side by side. And then we joined together with the staff of Pure Desire. So for the last 3 years, we have been traveling, except during COVID. We've been going to churches and helping to lower the shame around this topic. So to be able to talk about it and know that it is a much more common problem and issue than we think. And we also go in and do parent training. So we have a heart to help our parents to help the next generation. And this last fall, I joined also the clinical team of Pure Desire. So now I work with couples, and I have that honor of walking every week alongside of women that have been betrayed and sharing in their stories with them. So that's just a little bit about me and my history.
Wow. Thank
Awesome.
you so much.
Awesome. Thanks,
So
Tracy.
appreciate all you do and to take your time to be with us. Wow. Thank you, Tracy. So Beth, would you like to join us from There's Still Hope?
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited about the retreat, and I'm excited to share this with everyone that's watching today. I am Beth Dennison, and my husband and I run a ministry called There's Still Hope. We are originally from Texas. We were both born and raised in Texas, lived there for just about all our lives until about 6 years ago when we moved to Florida. And we were in the full-time pastorate for over 30 years. And then when everything blew up in terms of our issues with sexual addiction, we stepped aside from that and kind of got a fresh start in Florida, where we now have make our home, and I hope to die here. I don't ever want to leave Florida now. I never thought I'd say that. We were born and raised in Texas. I thought I would always be there. I'm kind of a Texan at heart, and but now I love it in Florida and the sunshine. That's my favorite season year round. My husband misses the seasons, but I feel like I have the best one all the time. So love it here. We run a ministry called There's Still Hope, where we work with those experiencing sexual brokenness and their spouses who have been adversely affected by their husband's compulsions and addictions. And we both do groups and we do one-on-one, and just really feel like it's an honor to share the hope that we've experienced. And, when this all comes about in your life, the last thing you think you have is hope. You feel like your life is over as you've known it. And for most regards it is, but God can take what he's allowed and redeem it and use it for our good and his glory. And so that's the message that we like to share with people that we work with. And we have the honor of doing that every day. So thanks for having me. I'm looking forward to the retreat.
Oh,
Thanks,
so glad
Beth.
you're part of it. Thank you
Appreciate
so
you
much.
coming. One thing we didn't mention is that both Beth and Tracy's husbands will be speaking at the men's retreats. So we look forward to having your husbands come up about a month after you guys do and share with the guys as well. So
that's awesome. Well, thanks so much, Beth. I'm so excited to have you here too. And next is Stacy Green from Mustard Seed Wellness. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, ladies, I'm just so honored to share the space with you. My background is in natural wellness. I taught 16 years of high school science. I didn't see myself doing anything different. And then when I stepped into the natural world, I just saw what it did for my family. Our lives completely changed. And so I remember going to a conference in Chicago back in 2013, and it was looking at the connection between emotions and how it affects us and our organs and glands. And I was blown away by what I learned. And as soon as I stepped back into my practice and I started working with people who are going through grief or just experiencing all kinds of emotional stress, I got to see how it affected them and their wellness. And so my passion is just first drawing attention to that connection and then finding a way to heal. So I'm just so honored to be a part of this and share what I know with all the expertise that's coming to the table with this retreat.
awesome. Come to the table. I'll make sure you get that was good.
Well, we're so excited to have you too.
Thank you.
Gosh, this is so wonderful that you're doing so much for so many people and so many women. And I hope this changes so many lives in a month. And with all these women, it is God is going to be just with us every step of the way. And boy, is he going to be with us that weekend. So I'm so excited.
Now, the one speaker that couldn't make it with us tonight was Melody Lovern, and from Life Beyond Betrayal. She will be joining us, or joining you guys, in September as well, and speaking on the same type of things and sharing about her life and what's been impactful for her and giving hope. Like think it was Beth that said it, giving hope to all you people, women and men alike, that have been affected by this in one way, shape, or form, and being able to share that there is healing, and there is a way out, and that there is a redeeming grace that God gives us. So you want to talk about what's going to be said, or what the agenda may be, or what they're going to speak about?
Oh yeah, Tracy, do you want to go ahead and the topics that you'll be mentioning and speaking about?
Sure. Yeah. I'm going to be talking about being in the middle of the unresolved. So for me, our recovery has been 24 years. We're just coming up on 24 years since my husband disclosed to me sexual addiction. And I know we'll walk through and talk a little more about our stories, but I've had a long process of that healing journey. In the last few years, I've had other things come up in my life, some that I didn't even share with Michelle when she asked me to be a part of this retreat. But I really feel like God was just putting on my heart, talking about when we're in the unresolved, when we're in the middle of our story. And so I want to give a little perspective of mine, just a different way of seeing the serenity prayer, because that's been something that I've focused on, and just letting go of those things that we don't have control over, as well as being able to embrace. So what does it look like to embrace the things that I do have control over? And then how to see the difference and where to put my energy into that. And so my heart is just to look at that betrayal trauma, what for me has become very healed, but yet other things as I'm walking through life, I'm experiencing some of those early feelings, and yet I'm in a different place where my husband is now my anchor and my most secure attachment. But to be able to kind of walk through and talk about some of those pieces of serenity prayer, and then some of those pieces of what it looks like to face our pain, right? To honestly face our pain and to walk through that grief process, because we have to do that before we're able to let go. And then what does it look like to be able to even celebrate myself and my process with when I'm still in the middle of my story, when I don't have the end, I don't have it all buttoned up and tied up, and I know all the end and how everything's going, but I can trust God to walk me through and have that hope, even when I'm still in it.
Awesome.
That is so powerful.
Yeah.
Thanks so much. And the serenity prayer, I have to add to that. That's so passionate with me too, because, when this was just came out with us, my brother, and I don't know if he's out there right now, but thank you so much for telling me to say the serenity prayer over and over and over again. I'll be honest, I had to Google it. They give you the first 3 lines, and I read those different places, but to really read the whole thing and really absorb it, wow, and it didn't always come out in a nice way, but that's the healing process. It's okay. It's okay to be where you are at that moment. So thank you. We can't wait to hear all about that.
Thank you. Me too.
Beth?
Well, I'm excited to talk about, I look at this journey as we're thrown into a pit, and in Psalms, it talks about experiencing a pit. And I relate that to the healing journey, learning about being in a relationship with someone who is a sex addict, and how to start getting out of that pit, and some of the things that you have to navigate in recovery to kind of get your feet back on solid ground. And one of those is dealing with triggers. Anyone who has experienced sexual betrayal will likely face triggers on an ongoing basis, and learning how to identify the triggers, learning how to prepare for them, and then learning how to manage them when they hit you, because it's something that unfortunately can be a part of our recovery journey for a long time to come. And so learning how to deal with those is really important. So we're going to spend some time talking about that. Another component of healing from this is learning how to set healthy boundaries. And one of the things that's very common for women who have been in relationship with someone who has sexual addiction is over time, they stop speaking up. They lose their voice. For so long, they have had their feelings and their suspicions invalidated that it just gets to the point where they feel like, what is the point of sharing their needs, sharing their desires, sharing their feelings? And so part of the healing journey is helping them to learn, what is it to have a healthy boundary? What is What's a boundary? Why is it necessary? How do I construct a healthy boundary? And then how do I communicate it to others around me in an effective way so it's more likely to be received and hopefully respected? But then what to do if it's not? That's important too, because unfortunately it's not always adhered to. And learning how to have a healthy consequence and what that looks like. So just empowering the women who have kind of lost their voice and feel like they've lost power through all of this, to learn how to stand again, how to speak up for what they need and start taking that power back in a godly way that honors God, but also themselves. And so I'm really excited to share those very practical elements that are needed for recovery.
Oh, so
That's
good.
pretty cool, because we just watched on our Wednesday night couples group last night a DVD on boundaries from Dr. Wise from Heart to Heart. And, you know, it just speaks into everything you've just been saying. And I think that'll be awesome for you to be able to relay that to the ladies and give them good tools, because it's one thing to hear it on a DVD, but it's actually, you know, in a video, but to be able to use those steps practically and know what to do with them in a real life situation is what's going to be, I think, helpful.
Yeah, absolutely.
That'll be wonderful. Thanks so much, Beth.
Sure.
And Stacy?
I'm just going to piggyback actually on what Beth said. You know, when you look at the emotional connection to like your voice being heard, that's so much connected to your thyroid. And so many women suffer from issues with their thyroid. So, you know, I'll talk a little bit about the nutrition behind it, but then also that connection, that emotional connection that can be healed with what Beth has to share. And then the adrenals take a hard hit, because if you don't know your role and you lose your role and you're not sure about where your role is and with all of this, then your adrenals take a hit. And after you've been through a long period of stress, also your adrenals take a hit. So I'll talk about, again, the nutrition behind that, but then again, kind of going back to what Beth said and just finding your role in this and being firm with your boundaries so you know emotionally where you are. And I think that's all what this is about. So, I mean, it all fits together really nicely.
Oh, it does. Finding the new you know, it really is, and that's what this is all about. Yeah, I can relate with all that you said about the thyroid. You know, turned out through all this process, I had hypothyroidism and adrenal issues. So, you know, hopefully this will make people aware that are listening. It's like it really does affect your health in so many ways. So, thanks so much for sharing that. Wow.
Thank you.
This is gonna be awesome.
It is. I'm excited for it. I'm not even going to be there.
Yeah.
Well, I will be there. No, I will be there.
The
We are doing a men's panel on, what is it?
Saturday.
You're doing a men's panel.
Saturday or Sunday. Yeah, where everybody, all the women there can ask these men questions. So good luck, honey.
Drilling us. That's all right. We encourage any question you have.
You can handle it.
Might not have a good answer, but we'll take the question.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of some other tidbits about this live stream. There should be a little icon at the bottom right corner of your screen that if you hover over it, it's the T&M logo for Table Ministry. You can click on that, and that would subscribe you to the YouTube channel. So if you can see that, definitely subscribe to the channel. Click the little bell for the notifications so that you'll get notified when we do this again, because we are going to continue to do this, whether it's an update with the ladies that are speaking, whether it's an update with some other people that have been in groups or something like that. And we're definitely going to do this same thing with the men's retreat. We're going to bring all the men's speakers in, do the same type of format so people out there can meet the speakers in advance and hear a little bit of what they're going to be talking about. I think that's just so helpful for those that are thinking about attending. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, you know, this affects so many people. And so, you know, they kind of keep us in the back and quiet because nobody wants to talk about it. It's a bad thing to talk about. But no, everybody has to be talking about it. We need to get this voice out here. So appreciate everybody for being here and for, you know, clicking on here. And Jenny in the comments, I saw, love you coming. That's awesome. I'm so glad you're coming. Good for you. Love you too. So, yeah.
You want to talk a little bit of details on the retreat that they can sign up and information?
The tickets, what do you mean?
Tickets can be purchased at Eventbrite. Tickets can be purchased at Eventbrite. I will put that in the chat box. You know, a little bit about Sandy Cove resort. It's funny. Somebody said just the other day, actually it was yesterday, I told the guy where we were having our retreat, and then I told him where the women were having their retreat, and he said, "Oh, the women get the good place." And Sandy Cove is a very, very nice resort. I mean, it's first class. It's like a hotel, and it's right along Chesapeake Bay. It's a beautiful spot to be. The food and the arrangements, the lodging is beautiful. Campobana is good too. We don't have our own bathrooms like you guys do, but
okay, girls need that.
But Campobana is good too, so the guys will enjoy Campobana. But
really
I'll put the Eventbrite link in the chat box for people that may need it. Like I said, you can also go to the website to get it if you want.
And they're both on the water, on the Chesapeake Bay. It is gorgeous. Mm-hmm. Both of them. But there isn't a whole lot of rooms left for the women. I don't know about the men's, but there's only a couple rooms left. So, and you can, for the women, you can either get a room for a single, double, or triple. So if you have, a friend or two that you want to bring along, and if if this doesn't affect you, I'm happy for you. But somebody that it does. So please share this with them, because this could be life-changing. To have the support and the community and to be able to share your story and hear somebody else's, to know that, wow, somebody does understand my pain. We really do. And when you feel understood, you can start to heal. You really can. So
that's one good thing that's happened in the men's retreat that was so encouraging. This is our third year doing the men's retreat. And just to be able to have a platform where people, men obviously there, could come in and just talk about their journey, where they've come from, where they're going, what's gotten them to this point so far, and what's been the biggest thing that has helped them in their healing journey. And I think that's going to be great for the women as well, just to have a place and a platform to talk and share. It doesn't always, we don't like a big structured, all kinds of different meetings and stuff to go to. There's going to be lots of speaking with obviously these great speakers. There's also going to be a lot of downtime too, to just be able to talk and share with other people. Like Michele said, they're coming from all over the country. So looking forward to a great time with everybody that comes.
Yeah, because, this is all about, ladies, survive and thrive this. And when I mean thrive, I mean thrive. Like you are going to it's going to be a new you, and embrace that. It's not a scary thing. It's an adventure, and just wrap your arms around it and go for it. And you're not walking it alone.
How many women have told you that they've never thought anybody else was going through what they went through?
Oh my! Everybody, I can't even imagine. Yeah. Can't even imagine. Yeah. So, and there's so many more that I hope this is reaching. I really do.
So, ladies, if there was one thing you could share to somebody out there who is kind of on the fence about coming to this retreat and what maybe they could expect, what's one thing you would encourage them to consider before making that choice? Anybody want to jump in?
Well, I would echo what Michele was just saying about being validated, being heard. I would call that top of my healing list. So we need that in many ways. And I know for me, I had a lot of different kinds of support in early recovery, but it was a long time ago, and there weren't a lot of groups, and there weren't things, at least I didn't know about them, and there wasn't the internet. So I really remember saying, oh, I just wish there was one person I could talk to that had been through this specifically. And I couldn't think of anyone. And I remember even years later at our church, I would share my story, and I would have, people share their story, but I didn't ever have anyone say, yeah, me too. I was like, well, I'm glad they didn't throw rocks at me, because my husband's a pastor. So that's good. It felt safe, but nobody said me too. So I still thought he's an anomaly. My husband's like the only one that has this problem. And I found that to not be true. But when we found Pure Desire, my husband will say groups helped him heal the shame. He had sobriety for a long time, but he still had a lot of shame. And for me to find those groups too, just that validation and connection, I can't say enough about it. And it remains to this day to be one of the most beautiful parts of my sacred story, parts of my journey. So that's one of the things that I would say for this type of retreat. I can't wait, because you're my people. You've been through pieces of what I've been through, and we can go deep in a way that we may not be able to go in another setting, even though other types of support are really helpful as well.
One thing Rodney always says, and he always says it at every retreat he comes to with us, he always says it on the phone when we talk, he says, let the Christ in you heal the brokenness in me, and let the Christ in me heal the brokenness in you. And that's what it's all about.
Yeah, the wounded healers, right? We become the wounded healers, and it takes time. We don't just jump to that. We don't just jump over the other pieces, but eventually our story can be a part of being a wounded healer as well.
And I would add to that, it is a common reaction when we experience this, especially initially, to want to isolate, to withdraw from everybody. But healing happens in connection. We need connection for healing. And so I just urge anyone out there who has experienced this, who really wants to isolate, I really encourage you to come to the retreat and experience connection with other women, and you will begin healing. You need connection for healing. So, and the other thing I would say is, just as our name says, there is hope. You may feel right now like there is no hope for your marriage, no hope for your future, but I promise you there is still hope. So come and experience that hope firsthand.
Yeah, absolutely. And, even like Stacy said, the voice, finding your voice. It's like, wow, I found my voice. I'm not the same person he married, and he's definitely not the married. I married, and it's so awesome to find that voice and use it, because of, I don't wish anybody on this journey, including myself, but I would not be sitting here. I would not know any of you. I would not know anybody out there in our groups and everything. So, to have a voice and be able to share it and heal with everybody else. I needed them all. I needed you all, and we need each other. So, yeah.
Stacy, anything?
Stacy?
Well, I mean, my advice is always take it to the Lord. If you feel like you still have healing, ask the Lord, is this a space? Because I know that the Bible studies that I've been a part of, where I've just learned the most, and I've just opened up the most, is a place that is just sacred, that holds a space where everybody, you're just, what you have to say is honored. It's listened to, and it's taken to the right space. And that's where you heal, is where you have a space where it's safe to do that.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah.
So I can't think of anything else. I'm trying to get that thing scrolling off the bottom, but it won't. I was trying to put well, anyway, there's our website down there again. If you need our website to find the events and the Princess Warriors Retreat, sign up there. Sign up on Eventbrite if you have to. But yeah, we just, again, want to invite everyone to come and share with these speakers, share their stories, share your stories with them, and build each other up in community, and just be there to help one another. Again, take a look at the YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe, because we're going to do this again. I don't know when. We try to pop it up every once in a while. So just subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow us on Facebook, and we'll continue to keep you updated on what's happening and what you can expect, again, with this retreat as well as the men's retreat and anything else that's happening within our ministry. If you need help, like Stacy and Beth both said, they have ministries. They provide help as well. Definitely reach out if you're looking for groups or somewhere to get some more help. I thought somebody had a question, but they don't. So yeah, just reach out. You're not alone when you do this. You're not alone in this journey. There's plenty of help out there, and just encourage everybody to look for the resources again, and come to this retreat.
Yeah. So I hope you sign up, and thank you so much for being with us. It's such an honor to have you all here, and I can't wait till next month.
Thanks for having me.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks. Good night.
Bye.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.